Welcome to this week's episode. I'm Jared.
Hi, I'm Betty.
And we've got a great episode for you this week where we're going to be talking about shopping. We've got Betty from BettySays. So this is going to be a real fun one. So let's go ahead and dive right on in. So welcome to this week's episode. We're going to be talking about shopping at Disney. And this is Betty, my friend, and she's got a YouTube channel called BettySays. Why don't you start by telling us about your YouTube channel? And then we'll talk about how we met. And then we'll talk about what you do and all the cool things about shopping at Disney.
All right. Yes. My channel is called BettySays. I don't know if you're going to link it maybe in the description box.
Yep. I can put a link in there.
And I started my channel about 2 years ago. And it started out of passion for Disney, but specifically Disney merchandise. Mm-hmm. So I didn't used to live here. I used to live in Miami. So I used to come to the parks fairly often, but let's say maybe 4 or 5 times a year. And I didn't have access to all the merchandise that was coming out at the moment it was being released. And sometimes I would be searching all over the internet for videos of people showing the merchandise that they currently had at the stores. Sometimes my trip would be maybe like a month away. And I wanted to know if the items that I wanted were still available at the stores or if I had to pay the eBay prices. Nobody wants to do that. And it was so hard. There were so many people doing Disney videos. And a lot of them would have shopping videos every now and then. But they didn't have a lot of what I was looking for. So I knew that I needed to start doing that and sharing that with people because I knew I couldn't be the only one. Right. I know that Disney shopping is like a passion for a lot of Disney lovers.
Yep.
So I was like, let me just show them what they have. Since they have so much merchandise, they roll out merchandise every single week. It's crazy. Every time I go to a store, there's something I can film.
Yep. Love it. And so Betty's an expert. She's got over 560 videos out there on YouTube. She's got thousands of followers, and I love shopping. I knew we wanted to put an episode about shopping, so it was really fate how we met.
Yes,
and
it was.
Yeah, this is crazy, everyone. So you can see that today we're recording in a different location. We are actually in Orlando at the Dryer Dose of Disney condo, which you can rent, and I will put that link down there in the description. So it's like an Airbnb or Vrbo that you can use whenever you're going to travel out here. And Betty has one as well.
Yes, I do.
In our same complex here at Toscana. And what was crazy is we had an HOA meeting where we were doing an election for a board. Mm-hmm. And we both happened to come and be on site. And as we were going around introducing ourselves to others and getting to know people, Betty and I started up a conversation and start talking about what we do. And we said, hey, I've got a podcast that we talk about Disney and tips and tricks at Disney. And Betty's got a YouTube channel where she's talking about shopping at Disney. And I said, hey, I want to do a shopping episode and I'm coming up on doing my shopping episode. So next time we're out in Orlando, I want to get you on the show.
I thought it was so cool. I've never done a podcast. This is my first time.
Yeah. So I'm thrilled to have you because I'm not an expert in shopping. I'm an expert in eating.
Thank you.
And I'm an expert in the rides and stuff like that. But to have an expert like Betty who can come on the show and talk about shopping is a treat for all of us and all of our listeners. And like we talked about earlier, we will definitely put a link in there in the show description for her channel so you can find it and you can start watching all the cool shopping videos that you've got because you've got a ton of them and they're awesome. And I had a chance to check them all out and you do great going through the store saying, this is the current merchandise that's out there. Here's some new stuff that's out there. You've done some unboxing videos. I saw some of those as well. And those are a lot of fun. But why don't you take us through tell us about your love of Disney. Why do you love Disney? And what are your favorite things about shopping at the parks?
Sure. First of all, I thank you for having me. This is very exciting for me. First, I'm doing a podcast. And I guess what I love the most about Disney is the ambience itself, because it brings out the little girl in me. And I think it does that for all adults.
Very much.
Yes. So we get to like leave the adult at home in a way. And that's awesome. It's like leaving the stress also.
Yes. And honestly, that's one of my favorite things about traveling over here from Denver is you just forget about the real world. Ironically, like you were saying, one of our rooms is decorated with Peter Pan. And all of us has never grow up.
Never grow up, yes.
And to always act like that kid. And I feel the same way. Every time we go to Disney, it takes me back to my childhood.
Yeah.
It's very nostalgic for me, especially Magic Kingdom and all the classic rides and stuff. But it's my favorite place to be. No question about that.
My mom always said that I'm a little kid, that I never grew up, but that she finds it adorable and charming. It's just don't ever change. Just keep having that. And Disney allows me to nurture that inner child and keep me like that. And I guess definitely that's what I love the most. And obviously the rides help making you feel alive.
Right.
And the magical part of everything in life. And then the merchandise is just like a reminder, something you bring home.
Yep.
It just keeps it alive at home.
No, and I was thinking the same thing. It's a piece you can take with you.
Yeah.
There's no question that Disney is really starting to challenge your senses in the sense of when you ride these rides, they're so immersive now.
Yes.
They've gone from your traditional dark rides like Pirates of the Caribbean or Peter Pan's flight to these really immersive rides like Guardians of the Galaxy, Cosmic Rewind, or Pandora Flight of Passage.
My favorite. My absolute favorite.
Yep. We actually just did a poll on we've got a Facebook page, and we did a poll on the best rides at Disney World. And the top rides were Rise of the Resistance, Flight of Passage, Guardians of the Galaxy.
Of course,
all the ones that really immerse you into these worlds and into these environments. But the challenge is you leave that at the park at the end of the day.
Yes.
The shopping enables you to take it home.
Exactly. And I think that Disney has taken the souvenir market to a whole other level. You go to other parks, they have the magnet, maybe the keychain, I don't know, postcards, T-shirts, and that's it. That's it. A lot of parks only have a little tiny shop and you get the basics. But Disney, wow, they went all out.
They sure did.
Yeah, and every year it gets crazier and crazier. Just like they have more and more.
Yep.
Every collection has more things. So it's the hats, it's different shirts, and then they bring out different collections for whatever they are celebrating. So for the 50th, they've had 5 different collections so far.
Well, you've got 50th shirt on.
Yes, of course. Yes, this one.
Yep.
One of my favorites. Yes.
And they're about to do the 100th. So if you guys don't know, we just celebrated the 50th, and it's weird to think 50th, 100th. But we just celebrated the 50th anniversary of Disney World here in Orlando. And so they've had great merchandise all year. We've got some of the art up on the wall. We'll talk about art in a few minutes. You've obviously got the shirt on. It's been a really big deal this year to be part of the 50th. And then we're walking right into 2023, where it's going to be the 100th anniversary of Disney in general.
Yeah.
So that is all Disney. Walt first started his company back in 1923. So we're at the 100-year mark, and there's merchandise already starting to roll out for that.
Yes. I think Disneyland probably has a lot more merchandise that we do for the 100th, but we're slowly getting more and more. We do have I don't know if I can call it the issue, but when it first releases, like every single collection, when they first release it, it sells out super fast.
Right.
Super, super fast. But then it slowly gets restocked. So people shouldn't panic unless it's something like is limited edition. Right. Those things don't come back. There are some pins that are limited edition, and once they're gone, they're gone. For example, some of the pins for the 100th, they were not limited edition, but they sold out on the first day.
Wow.
Within a couple of hours.
Wow, really fast.
Yes.
So you're talking about the pins. The pins are very popular. You've talked about some of the apparel and the shirts and stuff, but I know you love the bags, and the bags are one of the most popular things out there. Tell us about your favorite things and about the bags.
Definitely bags it's some of my favorite items to look for, especially Doonies. Then Coach doesn't release that many collections a year, but Coach has really good pieces. When they release collections, they're very good. And then Loungefly, they release collections like crazy. Every week, they're throwing out another one.
Yep.
I think that what makes it fun for me is that Dooney and Loungefly, they both come out with bags that change placement.
Okay.
So
talk about that.
It'll be the same print.
Okay.
But the placement changes from one bag to the other. And it is really fun for me to look for the perfect one, for the perfect placement.
Right.
Now, perfect placement for you is going to be different than perfect placement for me. But so I think that it is very cool because it gives everyone the opportunity to have their own perfect bag. And I think that's really, it's a way to customize it in a way.
Sure. So let's talk about perfect placement for a second.
Yes.
Because for me, that's a new concept for me. But what you're talking about would be if the bag has multiple characters on it, let's say, and your favorite character you want to get right on the front in the biggest part or right on the special pouch on the front, right?
Yes.
So that's what you're talking about when you're talking about perfect placement.
Exactly. Maybe I can show you my own bag.
Yeah, let's see your own bag.
I'm currently wearing this one. This is probably my favorite Dooney.
Yeah, I love it.
Yes. And it's very wintry, so I don't get to wear it all year round, but I would if I could.
Right.
But for me, I really wanted Mickey and Minnie, for example. Like there's lots of Mickeys, lots of Minnies, but there's only one Mickey and Minnie together, doing something together. And I wanted as many of them as I could get. So I really wanted one here in this area. And I went to get it on the first day when these bags were released. And they were already so picked through. And it had been the very first hour that it had been released. So I couldn't find one here where I wanted them. But this one also had no Mickey's cut off anywhere. Because you can have that. A lot of Mickey. See this Minnie Mouse? I don't know if they can see it from there. There's a Minnie Mouse here and it's cut off by this part. And there's absolutely no way to get these bags without heads cut off or something. Like it's very hard. Or to get everything in the print. When it comes to totes, it's easier because you have more space.
Sure.
So you get more. In other styles, it gets harder and harder. So it's like a game for me.
Sure.
To be able to find that perfect placement, no matter the shape of the bag or the size. So it's really cool. So yeah, I ended up getting this one just because it had a really cool Mickey Mouse here.
Yep.
And then I still had a lot of the Mickey and Minnie ones. But that is my personal preference.
We got my wife a Dooney as well. And I got her a Small World one because that's her favorite ride. And so she got a Small World Dooney that she uses for school.
Yeah.
She teaches kindergarten and it's really fun for her to have there.
Of course. I bet the kids like it. They love it.
So she's got a lot of Small World stuff. Now,
yeah.
I had to get it on eBay because I bought it like 2 years after it came out. So talk a little bit about that. So the releases, how do people know when they get released? And what happens if you don't buy it through Disney?
Okay, it's getting a lot easier to find out when they are getting released because Disney will actually post it on Instagram. So if you follow them, if you follow Disney Parks or the Disney blog or anything like that, they will let you know.
Okay, that's great.
The thing is, they always announce it like only a few days ahead. So it's not what's coming next month and you can plan a trip. It's maybe 4 or 5 days before they release that they will let you know.
So it's pretty quick.
Yeah, it's usually on a Monday that they release the bags. And, you know, it used to be like they sold out the very first day. And then some of them would come back, but usually they didn't come back. But things have been changed. Like after COVID, a lot of things around the world changed.
Yep.
And this is one of the things that has changed. So some of the styles might sell out pretty quick, but not within the first day.
Okay.
It takes a few days to sell out.
Okay.
And sometimes they come back. I've been shocked a couple of times because I was used for so many years to see them sell out and not come back.
Yep.
And then I think maybe, was it the 2022 or the 2021 Valentine's collection that sold out? And then all of a sudden it came back. And I was, oh my gosh, am I seeing this correctly? It was really shocking. And then it happened with the 50th. They have released 4 50th collections so far.
Okay.
Only one of them sold out the first day and never came back. And it was, I should have brought that one to show it to you, but it was a castle. It was not a collection. It was just one bag. It was one toad with the castle. That was it. And it was released one day, sold out that day, and it never came back.
Oh, man. So you got to be quick in most cases, but you can buy them on like Shop Disney, correct?
That is something that I had to do with that one.
Okay.
I usually buy them at the parks, also because I get my pass holders discount. And I don't get that when I buy from Shop Disney. But I just happened to be in Miami when that castle one was going to be released. And I just knew. I knew that if I didn't get it on Shop Disney, I was going to miss out on it.
Yep.
It's one of those things that I already know that, oh, this collection is going to sell out and things like that. And I just knew about that one.
Mm-hmm.
So I woke up at 3 a.m. or right before 3 a.m. because that's when they released them on Shop Disney. And I set up my alarm for 2:55 and I woke up and it was like right there. And thank God I did that because it sold out within 20 minutes. And
so
but
you were lucky you were able to get it.
Yes, I was able to get it. And I did not care that I was not getting my pass holders discount at that point. I just need that bag.
Yep.
And it's much better than the $700 that people are asking for on eBay now.
Yeah, I was going to say, so the other people that are buying early at release are eBayers. So let's talk about that because there's a huge resale market out there for Disney merchandise. So
definitely,
you have eBayers that will go out and they will bombard the site, just like buying tickets to a concert. They'll bombard the site, they'll get all the merchandise, and then they'll go list it on eBay for double, triple the prices.
Yes, that's sad.
Yeah.
It is really sad. It's taking advantage of Disney lovers. I don't know what to tell you about that because I understand what people say, like everyone's entitled to making a living.
Mm-hmm.
But don't take it to that extreme.
Yeah,
like it's too much.
Yeah, it's at other people's expense.
Yes.
Now, the flip side of the coin is if somebody does find something, or maybe they're going online and they're looking, because what I ended up doing when I bought that bag for Small World for my wife is I went and searched the Small World Dooney bags, and there's multiple different bags that were out there. So different prints, different styles.
Yes.
And then I narrowed it down. Okay, I think this is the one she would like the most. And of course, since it was a few years old, I could only get it on eBay. And I ended up just paying for it just because I knew she would like it. You know, so I don't want to say I was desperate, but it was definitely the bag that I knew she would like. And it wasn't double. It was much higher than retail, but it wasn't quite double. So I thought, okay, worth it. I'll go ahead and do it. And the good thing about the Dooney bags is they're sturdy. They'll last.
Yes.
So I mean, they're a great bag to get.
Yeah, that is something that I really think about when I'm buying other brands. I don't want to bash other brands, so maybe not mention them. But when it comes to Dooney and Coach, those are two brands that I don't think about too much because I know that if I buy that one, it's going to be 4 years. Like it's going to last me a lifetime. Those are really good bags. I guess that in that sense, they are worth the price.
Sure.
Yeah.
What I've seen at the parks is a lot of the kids have Loungefly.
Yes.
Just because they're smaller backpacks and they're very character oriented.
Yeah.
So
they're super cute.
Yeah. So if you love Grogu from The Mandalorian, Baby Yoda, you can find a Baby Yoda Loungefly pretty easily.
You can.
And so the kids are going to wear those. I see the adults carrying the Dooney and the Coach bags. Yeah. Typically.
But Loungeflies, that's a big, like a culture already. Yeah. And everyone is wearing them. And even myself, I have a big Loungefly collection and I love them. And I think that what they did was bring really creative designs and allow people to wear something that would otherwise feel very childish, maybe, like what you're saying. If they have the Pluto bag or something, that because Coach and Dooney will do it more adult-like.
Right.
But Loungefly does it very childish, I guess. But they do it in such a good way, such a clever and creative way that adults love to wear it.
Yeah, if it's your
me
character,
included.
Yeah, if it's your character, if it's your ride, something that you love, you're going to love the Loungefly up then.
Yes.
They're very accustomed to that ride or to that character, which is awesome. So tell us a little bit more about the store experience in the parks or over at Disney Springs. When you go in, obviously, you've got everything from the apparel. You've got housewares, which we've got all over our house here, our condo here in Orlando. So you've got the housewares, you've got the magic bands, you've got the pins, you've got everything. So tell us, when you go into the store, where do you go or what's your favorite place to shop at?
Obviously, my favorite ones are the bigger stores that have a little bit of everything. So Disney Springs would be World of Disney, Magic Kingdom, the Emporium, like those kinds of stores. But you bring up a good point that one of the things that I like to do in my channel is show people where they can find this stuff, because not every store at Disney will have the same merchandise. right? So there are certain products that you can only get at certain stores. So, for example, ornaments. It's an easy example.
Right.
So some stores may have a couple of ornaments here and there. Not always, but they do have them sometimes. But if you are coming here and specifically wanting ornaments, then you have to go to the Christmas stores. There's one at Disney Springs. There's one in Magic Kingdom. So that would be your best bet. That one's kind of easy, like I said. It's like you would obviously know that. But there are other products and other things that people might think that they can find everywhere. And it's like that. I don't know. If you're looking for the Vault collection, you're not going to find it at all the stores. So there's stores where you're better off, if that's what you're looking for, you're better off going at this one or this one. I like to show people, hey, we're at this store right now, and this is what they have here. And when it comes to special collections like that, like the Vault collection, the 50th, the 100th, I do show a little bit of, hey, they still have these. Yeah. And I know what people are looking for. For example, the 50th mugs, the blue ones that had the characters, those were super popular, so everyone wanted them. So every time I see drinkware, the drinkware section or the 50th or whatever, I'm looking for those. And if I ever see them, I'm like, hey guys, heads up, they do have them here right now.
Right.
So that's basically what I try to do in my channel. Just let people know, because listen, going to the stores, trying to find something that I want is super time consuming. I don't think people understand how time consuming it really is.
Sure.
And they think, a lot of people may think, oh, I'll just go to all the stores and look for them. It can take you a whole day to go to all 4 parks, to just one store in one per park. So it is very time consuming. And I want to make it easier for people who are coming here to know, oh, okay, on this day I'm going to Magic Kingdom. Let me go into this store because this is where I can find what I'm looking for. And I don't have to go around everywhere. And then they get to enjoy the parks and still buy what they want.
Yeah. And you made some really good points that, like the World of Disney and the shop on Main Street are going to have a lot of your general Disney items. If you want, like one of my favorites is Pirates of the Caribbean, which obviously we've got the ride poster back here. If I want Pirates of the Caribbean stuff, I need to go to the shop at the exit of Pirates of the Caribbean.
Exactly.
And they're going to have some more specialized stuff over there. Or if I'm a big Star Wars fan, I need to go to the Black Spire Outpost over at Hollywood Studios.
Correct.
And I can find all kinds of stuff over there.
Yes.
That I'm not going to find at Epcot.
Exactly.
So let's be honest, going to your actual themed area is going to give you more opportunity to find specialized items within the parks than going to the general store. You also dabble in, you do some personal shopping, correct?
Yes.
So talk to us about that you do personal shopping for others.
Yeah. So I felt like, that's just to go back to remember that I used to live in Miami and I didn't have access to the merchandise unless I was coming here. Back then, I didn't know the personal shopper thing existed. And I had to pay really high prices on eBay a lot of the times. And it's really sad. So I decided when I started, this was not part of the plan. It just happened to happen. I just wanted to share on YouTube, this is what they have at the stores. But I started getting a lot of people contacting me. Hey, I can't get to the parks. I live in this or there, like very far away. Can you help me pick it up? So I said, sure, let me help you if I can find it.
Sure.
Obviously, I can't do it for free because, like what we said, it's very time consuming.
I wouldn't ask you to do it for free. Yeah.
So I do charge a 20% fee, of course.
But that's cheaper than eBay.
It is a lot cheaper.
That's a lot cheaper than eBay.
Yes. Yes. Especially if you were talking about Goonies, for example. Yes. I just go, and it's a much better way to guarantee yourself that you're going to get a good placement. People ask me for specific things. Like they will say, I need a Pluto. And it has to be in the center or on the front pocket or whatever it is. And I do take a lot of time. Some people are like, you shouldn't waste so much time doing that. I'm like, it has to be like this.
Yeah. Well, you love it.
I shop as if it was for me.
Yes. You're passionate about it.
Exactly.
You love it. So that's a really good point. So when you're looking for a personal shopper, how can people get in contact with you to do that?
Email.
Okay.
It is. Yeah, it is. My email, which is BettySays at gmail.com.
Okay. We'll put a link for that in our podcast description.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes. And that's how I have been doing it.
Okay. Awesome. So, Betty, one thing that I asked you today is when you're thinking about shopping, what is the number one tip or trick? Because here on A Dryer Dose of Disney, what we like to talk about is our I can do this all day tip of the day. And our I can do this all day tip of the day is to really make first-time park goers or somebody who may not come that often experts like you and I are.
Yeah.
So what is your one tip for them on shopping?
That it's an easy one. I've talked about this with a lot of people who come to the parks often. And if you like something, if you see something that you like, just buy it right there. Some people wait until the last day. Some people wait until the end of the day so that they don't have to carry things around. Listen, just take a backpack. Take a backpack to the parks, and then you can put the stuff inside the backpack and not feel like you have to carry a bag around. But it is crazy how fast things sell out. And if it's something that you need a specific size for, if it's a t-shirt or something, just get it. If you see your size, get it right when you see it. Yes.
Well, because, and like you like to say, and you told me, if you buy it and you decide later you don't like it,
you can return it.
Return it.
Yeah. Just keep it intact, keep the tags on, and then bring it back. But I can't tell you how many times I received emails from people saying, I was just at Disney. I saw this. And they sent me a picture. And I decided not to buy it that day because I wanted to see what else they had. And it turns out that it sold out. And I couldn't find it the rest of my trip. And I saw it everywhere on the first day. So I thought that I was safe. And no, things really sell out super fast.
Yeah. And they can be tough to find, even if they don't sell out. So I can give you some personal experience. There's been a couple times that we have found something that we wanted to get and we waited and it's gone. And a couple times I absolutely loved, there was an old Tommy Bahama Pirates of the Caribbean shirt. And that was during 2020, during COVID. And I saw it on our trip out here and I thought, that's a great shirt. I probably want to get it, but I had him hawing about it because the price, it was Tommy Bahama.
Exactly.
A little more expensive. So I thought about it. And then later, couldn't find it. It's gone. And now they pulled it and there's no way for you to get it. So I missed my opportunity for that. And for me, my favorite thing in the shops and my absolute favorite stores are the art stores. So at Disney Springs, they have an art store over by Rainforest Cafe, which I absolutely love. A really cool
one,
we go in there all the time. And then they have one at Epcot over in Colonial America. And so we always stop in there. And you can see, obviously, we've got some ride posters behind us here. I've got art throughout the entire condo here. It's my
really
favorite thing.
It's really cool.
So I'm always looking for art, and that changes daily because as people buy it, they take it down, they box it up, and they put something else up in its place. That art changes very quickly. And if you see something and you miss it, it's gone. And there could be, like you said,
limited edition.
It could be a limited edition item, and now it's gone. And you're never going to see it again. We've got some of those up at home back in Denver, which I absolutely love. I've got a Dumbo picture that is numbered. That is really cool. That's up in my office that I absolutely love. And being a limited edition numbered piece, I wouldn't have found it any other way. So you got to be quick on some of those.
Yes. I actually have a sad story, I guess. Somebody contacted me and said, hey, my husband and I purchased this print, and she sent me a picture. It was a Mickey Mouse with a firefighter, but it was a print that they purchased together, and then unfortunately they divorced, and he took the print. And she was heartbroken. And I understand it. I know for a lot of people, it sounds like it's just Disney merchandise, but we're attached to it.
Yeah, it's a piece of you.
Yes. And it's part of the souvenir we were talking about. It's bringing the magic home. And it has a lot of memories attached to it. And so she was like, can you please help me get it? But that they had purchased it like a year ago or something like that. It was impossible to find.
Yeah, it's gone.
And to this day, I'm still looking for it because you never know when something comes back. But I know that is a very close to impossible thing, but I'm still looking for it. And every time I go to that store, I'm looking for that, to any of those two stores that you just mentioned. Or even when I'm going to the Festival of the Arts, I'm always looking for that one. But yeah, if you like it, just buy it when you can. And if you change your mind, then return it. But don't miss out on the chance of getting the things that you want.
Yeah, definitely. You want to grab it when you see it.
Yes.
So great tip. Thank you very much. So great stuff. thank you so much for the education on the bags and the tip of the day.
Thank you for listening to me.
If you guys find something, you definitely want to go buy it like right then, especially if it's in your size. So if it's clothing and apparel, if it's in your size, definitely buy it, take it home with you. Our guest today, again, was Betty, and her YouTube channel is BettySays. So you want to go check that out. It's in our podcast description or on our YouTube notes. You'll find a link there, as well as a link to email her for personal shopping. So if there's anything that you see that you can no longer buy, definitely reach out to Betty. But do check out Shop Disney first, because it may be available there and easier to get that way. But thank you so much for coming today and being part of this episode. This is awesome. So many great tips there. And what I'm going to say is, with her 560 plus videos out there, there are more tips on shopping if you go check out her channel. So if you want to learn more or dive into some of the specific bags or the specific seasons or festivals, like you said, you've got videos on it all. So go check it out.
Every time there's a festival, I'm there to show you the merchandise.
Okay. Yeah. Awesome. Thank you so much. If you want to stay at our condo here in Orlando, you can find that as well in the notes below. Or if you want to stay at Betty's, we will get yours linked in there as well, since she's got one in the same complex. And as always, we like to say subscription is free. So go ahead and click that subscribe button wherever you're listening to us there on the podcast format or in the YouTube channel. And if you would like to, you can support us over at Patreon, and our Patreon supporters actually get early access to our butterbeer episode where we've nailed the butterbeer recipe.
I heard.
Yeah, so it's really good. And we all have our episode there for how to go to Disney for almost free as well. So a great chance to save some money there. So great tips and tricks. So you definitely want to check those out. Thanks for listening today. You guys have a magical week, and we'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.